Thanks, Reese. Welcome to ESPN College Football Finale from Autzen Stadium here in Eugene, Oregon. Number 3 team in the country ready for their first big test of the season. Pac-12 opener for the Oregon Ducks and the 22nd ranked Arizona Wildcats, both 3-0, both with high-scoring offenses, both trying to fit as many plays as 60 minutes of football will allow for. And we say good evening, everybody, and welcome to this finale of an outstanding day of college football. A exciting one down there with LSU and Auburn. Joe Tessitore alongside Matt Millen. You cannot avoid the headline here. Rich Rodriguez against Chip Kelly. Two guys who have defined the fast-paced read option offense. Great systems, but you have to have the star playmaker. Oregon has it with DeAnthony Thomas.
I'll tell you how good DeAnthony Thomas is. Earlier in the week, head coach Rich Rodriguez of Arizona said he was the most explosive player when I recruited him in high school, and he's the most explosive player in college football right now. You know what, Joe? He was right. This guy is special good. Why? Because he can beat you from a lot of different ways. He can beat you catching the ball. He can beat you lined up in the backfield. On the inside zone, they're going to stretch you, and as soon as you make a mistake, that separation inside, great vision, one step, and he is full speed. He can also, if you stay on the inside, he'll bounce it to the outside where his speed enables him to be able to do the exact same thing. So in order for Arizona to have any shot, they've got to corral DeAnthony Thomas.
You saw the number there. It's amazing, but 3.4 times from scrimmage he touches the ball, he's going to score a touchdown. That's the pace he's on. Now for Arizona. Boy, this is a perfect fit because a fifth-year senior in Matt Scott at quarterback was just waiting for Rich Rod in that system.
And they both fell into each other's laps because this is the perfect offense for Matt Scott. Matt Scott can beat you with his feet. He makes all the throws, and you know what? He's a gym rat. He sees the field well. He understands the game of football. He understands this offense. Let me say this and be emphatic about it. Matt Scott, as he goes, this offense goes, and as this offense goes, this Arizona team goes.
We're glad to have Shelly Smith with us tonight. Earlier, she caught up with Rich Rodriguez.
All right, Coach, your quarterback, Matt Scott, he stuck with you. He's been waiting in the wings for 3 years behind Nick Foles. This is a big stage. What do you expect from him tonight?
Well, he's such a great competitor. I know he's excited about it. I don't want him to be nervous. I want him to be excited, and he's worked really hard, not just for us in the last 8 months, but really over the last 4.5 years.
All right, how have you simulated DeAnthony Thomas? What have you told your guys?
Well, we don't have anybody as fast as him, so it's hard to simulate it. But, you know, everybody knows. The guys that played against the last know how fast he is. And, you know, the coaches certainly know. And, you got to be aware where he's at all times. But they got other fast guys as well.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Shelly. Oregon has won 3 straight Pac-12 conference championships. Arizona 4th in the nation total offense. But can they keep up with the Ducks? We find out next. And now Matt Scott and Arizona will face all of that here at Autzen, where they make the most of the 54,000 plus they pack in, long considered among the very loudest stadiums in the sport. Oregon to receive after Arizona won the toss and deferred. Keenan Lowe and that man, DeAnthony Thomas, back to return John Bonanno's kicks. And it is a short keep-away kick that takes a bounce at the 30-yard line where Keenan Lowe fields it. Everybody trying to stay away from DeAnthony Thomas this year. Marcus Mariota, the redshirt freshman from Hawaii, 6'4", off to a great start. Couldn't have started his career as a first-year player more impressively, leading the Ducks to scores on their first 9 drives of this season.
Joe, I think Marcus Mariota is the most impressive freshman in all of college football. Way, way ahead of the curve.
Mariota has Barner and Thomas in the backfield. And he will start the game with DeAnthony Thomas, and he's able to get it out to the 39-yard line. This is the pace that we will see all night long. Kenyon Barner is wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage that time. That was a good play by Sir Thomas Jackson. Third down and 2 now. Mariota to pass, and that is incomplete.
Biggest thing here is not so much which offense is going to perform the best, that they're going to go for it. Looks like they're going to line up and go for it again. It's which defense is going to play the best will be the victor in this game.
Eric Dungy could not get to that pass by Mariota. This is 4th and 2 from their own 39 on the opening drive. Mariota in trouble, and he loses yards as Sir Thomas Jackson was quick to find them. So a big defensive stand by Arizona early.
Sir Thomas Jackson made the tackle, but what really happened was there was a mix-up in the backfield. And you're going to watch it right here. See, he was expecting Kenyon Barner to take the snap and hold that Jackson outside. It didn't happen, and he had to try to make something out of nothing, and that's what he got, nothing.
So they gamble early and come up empty, and now Arizona starts on offense at the 35. Matt Scott out of the gun. Daniel Jenkins, as he scoots ahead to the 30-yard line, the junior running back. He's flanked by Kadeem Carey throughout the night. Matt Scott, told you, a 5th-year senior. Best possible finish he could dream up to his career, fitting into Rich Rod's spread option attack.
This is the best player in college football, and nobody really knows about it. This kid's legit.
Grossly underrated player. Little pressure off the edge, but they get to the outside of it as Scott tries to dump it off, and he does to Kadeem Carey. Impact players for Arizona are brought to you by Firestone.
Well, you saw the first one, Kadeem Carey. He's their guy, inside runner, has good outside speed. Austin Hill, he's the guy they try to get the ball to the most. And Totoki is a guy you'll see on both sides of the ball, fullback and defensive end. Good all-around player.
3rd and 1 now. Kadeem Carey trying to fight for it, but look at that Ducks front. Push him back. It'll depend on the spot as they run in to make the mark there. That was Isaac Remington, the big defensive tackle. Got that first push.
Remington had him initially, and then the push from Carey got him the first down.
So they quickly mark it and move the chains.
Needs to see a barber.
Not a bad look for a defensive tackle up here. Here's Scott now to the air, near side, and that will go incomplete as he was looking for Austin Hill. Coverage came from Ekpre Olumu.
Now, when you watch this Arizona offense, they know that for them to have good success, Matt Scott's the key. But Matt Scott's arm down the field, they can take advantage of this Oregon defensive secondary, and Rich Rod knows it.
2nd and 10 now. Scott to pass again, and this ball is complete just over the 20-yard line to David Richards. Let's look at Matt's game plan that you came up with.
Well, when you watch both these teams, you know you have the fast pace and everything, but Matt Scott is the difference maker. He's got to make a play. They've got to capitalize on the turnovers, and they have to win one-on-one outside. They have to beat the secondary of Oregon.
3rd and 4. Matt Scott opening right up the middle, and then he is brought down, but he is able to get the first down right at the 10-yard line. He was brought down hard by Brian Jackson.
You know what I love about this kid? Mariota's got the same quality. Matt Scott, the game doesn't get too big for him. No situation is too big for him.
Here he goes to the 5. As it'll be 2nd and goal from there, tackled by Taylor Hart.
So if I'm Oregon and I'm on defense right now, every time I have a chance to put a hit on Matt Scott, I take it. When he tucks the ball and runs, you punish him.
Jenkins and Carey in the backfield. Kadeem Carey, can he get to the edge? No, unable to. Chased down by Brian Jackson and Terrence Mitchell.
Nicely done. You're going to watch Mitchell. 27 is going to show up. And that's a nice job by the safety coming down also. It's Brian Jackson, number 12. Good inside-out pursuit.
260-pound Taimi Tutogi comes into the game here.
Yeah, right here,
third and goal.
Number 31. Big man, 260 pounds. Like you said, Joe, presents a big body out there.
Scott looking, and it went too high that time, intended for Dan Buckner.
Nicely done by Ekfre Olomo. They went man-to-man. He said they had to win the one-on-ones on the outside. And Olomo, both times, they went after him. Both times, he came up big.
So John Bonanno will trot out for Arizona. The senior place kicker had a rough start this year in that game against Toledo. Missed 2 from short range, including a potential game winner. This just a 22-yarder, but on that angle. And it was a disaster right from the start. The punter, Kyle Dudzancic, could not handle it. So far this game, as advertised, plenty of action. Here in Eugene, Oregon. Glad you're with us. Moments ago, Kyle Dudzancic, the holder for Arizona.
Yeah, right in the hands. This is something he has to be able to do. And Joe, why is that significant? Because you cannot, any kind of drive that you have, and Coach Rich Rod knows it, it has to be punctuated, preferably 6, but you can't waste scoring opportunities.
Flag is down as Mariota gets his pass complete to Thomas. Actually, 2 penalties came in on that play. Land Clark is our Pac-12 referee tonight.
Anthony Thomas, they line him up all over the field. And they know, you have to be aware of where he's at on the field if you're a defense.
There are fouls by both teams and they will offset. Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 15. Personal foul, face mask. Defense number 38. Offsetting fouls. First down will be replayed.
Matt, let's talk about your game plan on the other side of the ball. I watch film all week long. Break it down. Here it is.
Well, when you look at this defensively, you have to be able to attack in space, because one of the things that Oregon tries to do is make you be athletic in space. You have to limit big plays. That's a 20-yard run, a 30-yard pass. And like I said, you have to be able to tackle. That's a great example of tackling right there in space.
Got to do that all night long against that guy. DeAnthony Thomas brought down. First guy to get him was Tremont Von Duren. So Flowers come in at the end there. Backs him up to a 2nd and 11. And Jan Barner, and look at that front for Arizona. They are playing fired up early on here. Tui Halamaka penetrating into that backfield.
Tui Halamaka is not a real big guy, about 65, 70, 270 pounds. But the thing that you have to be able to do against this Oregon offense and this style offense is get vertical push. You have to get up the field. And if you do that, you can shut down their inside run game.
Mariota now facing a 3rd and 11. They only bring 3 against the first-year quarterback. And the ball is loose. And Arizona jumps on it at the 11-yard line. That was Reggie Gilbert. Marquise Flowers came in and put a hit on Mariota, and Gilbert pounced on it.
Flowers made the play. That's a big deal. What we just got done talking about, Joe. You have to be able to tackle in space. Watch Flowers. Lowers his shoulder right on the ball. That ball's up in the air, and it just gets... Watch this. This is really well done. Bang.
And what did you just say moments ago? You cannot have missed opportunities as the underdog in this spot. You have to take advantage. And now they have yet another golden opportunity. And they come with the reverse this time. Morrison looking for space. and he darts inside the 5-yard line. A flag is down back at the 10.
That could be a block in the back. The safety came down hard. Somebody blocked him.
Illegal block in the back. Offense number 73. A 10-yard penalty. Play first down.
There you can see the safety comes down hard and bang, that's a good call.
Calling it 1st and 20 as they can get a first down right at the 1-yard line. Dean Carey going to test the middle of that defense for Oregon. Just a gain of a couple that time. Was Eric Armstead, highly touted true freshman, making the tackle of Carey.
Both these teams, Joe, they're kind of mirror images of each other. Defensively, they're not very big, particularly on the inside. They survive on movement. They are athletic. They can run, especially at the second level. They're pretty good.
Scott with time, and that ball is intercepted. Ifo Ekpe-Olumu, as Matt Scott made a mistake.
One of the two made a mistake, either Matt Scott or the receiver on the outside, because Scott was expecting him to come back. But Ekpe-Olumu, he was all over it. This is Buckner down below, number 4. Not a real fast guy, but a big man. Let's see if he was trying to... Yeah, see, he was expecting to come back right there. But Ekpe-Olumu, did you see how Olumu had great position with his body and his eyes were back inside? He made the play because of that.
So 2 failed red zone trips for Arizona. And Oregon back to business. Mariota downfield, but overthrows the intended target that time. That was the freshman Braylon Addison. He was covered by Jordan Brandon.
This is good right here. This is good for both teams. Arizona had 2 perfect opportunities for scores. They came away with nothing. And now Oregon, they're getting tested here a little bit. Things aren't going the way they're supposed to. Let's see how the freshman quarterback reacts to this.
Mariota trying to run it himself, but nowhere to go that time as he was tackled by Jake Fisher. He's the leader of that Arizona defense.
And not real big. This linebacking core for Arizona, they're small. Jake Fisher about 215 to 218. The heaviest linebacker is about 225. That's about it. But they are active, and they're good readers. Fisher does a nice job there.
Mariota now facing a 3rd and 8. And a quick strike for a first down out to the 30-yard line that time, as Mariota is able to connect. Dwayne Stanford with the reception for 16 yards.
Stanford just gets back inside, sitting on the zone. What you really like to see, those what Mariota did. Just a little bit of sidestep to the right to buy some time in a passing lane, and the ball's right where it had to be.
And Jan Barner takes advantage of that big hole, and he has a run for a first down and a gain of 12 before he was tackled by Flowers.
We talk about both these coaches and how they're running these offenses, but what impresses me so much about Chip Kelly is he just throws conventional wisdom to the side. He knows his team, he knows what he wants, and he's not afraid to take chances, and that's a great ability to have.
He set up the screen to Barner. Blockers in front, past midfield, and now here come the Ducks. You see Matt Scott is taking a trip to the locker room.
That's not a good sign, nor is this.
Sione Tuihalamaka.
That's a tough sucker right there. Not a real big guy, but that is one tough guy.
One of the leaders of the defense, was actually recruited to Oregon by Mike Bellotti, but made his mind to go to Arizona. Tries to anchor that defensive line. We'll take a break as they tend.
What's more
Volvo, Scandinavian luxury designed around you.
Welcome back here to Autzen. Red zone trips that failed for Arizona. The story of the game so far. That was the interception moments ago by Ifo Ekpre Olamu. No score, but yet so much action, so many plays packed in to a game between these two. Oregon, though, looking like they're finding their stride a bit on this drive. Their last 3 plays going for 16, 12, and 13 yards. And Barner able to get that corner there, and he's going to be close to the line to make as they mark him at the 35-yard line.
Here's Kenyon's dad. I saw him, had a chance to talk to him yesterday. He's got a good boy, and you know what I loved about him? As soon as they saw each other, they gave each other a big embrace and a kiss. They weren't afraid of any of that stuff around him, but that is one proud papa.
Mariota quickly out to Dwayne Stanford. These officials can't place the ball fast enough for Oregon. Brian Bennett now comes into the game. And Colt Lyerla, the big, bulking, poking tight end, straight through the middle of that Arizona defense as he took the handoff to the backup from the backup quarterback Brian Bennett.
That guy right there, Lyerla, Colt Lyerla, he's the guy. This is the best guy no one knows about in this Oregon team. This kid is a stud.
Now here's Bennett searching for room, and he was torn down. Let's see if we get a flag there. And no calls. He was ripped down by Dom Austin.
Good job by Austin. That's pretty good speed and a nice angle. Did you see how he redirected? Takes the nice angle. Now he started his tackle, started it inbounds, didn't hit him till he got to the out of bounds. Chip's not too happy about that.
Marcus Mariota comes back into the game now on 2nd and 11. Mariota over the middle, touchdown, Ducks. Daryl Hawkins with the touchdown catch.
Hawkins was able to get to the inside based off the play action. The middle is void. Hawkins gets inside position, and Mariota, perfect.
Show the unconventional formation, which they used actually in their opening week to get a 2-point conversion on. Fourth-year kicker Rob Beard. Now 91 for 91 in his career with PATs. Marcus Mariota, 9th touchdown of the year for the redshirt freshman.
Let's have a little fun tonight.
This
Play action does 2 things. First, there's the motion to the other side. There's 1, 2, 3 receivers. That draws the backers this way. And then the play action inside opens the void in the middle. And Marcus Mariota threads the needle.
Maldonado's kick is fielded at the 6 by Jenkins. And he gets it out to the 26. Let's check in with Reese Davis. Good evening, Reese.
Hello, Joe. We got a great one going on ABC. Florida State and Clemson. Clemson had a 31-21 lead. Florida State answered with 2 touchdowns, including this beautiful throw from E.J. Manuel to Rodney Smith. Early in the 4th, still a lot of time to go, but it's 35-31, Noles with the lead. Oklahoma and Kansas State a few moments ago. Landry Jones to Sterling Shepard as the Sooners try to pull it out of the fire. Colin Klein just converted a 3rd down. 24-19 K-State. It's late.
Thanks, Reese. And B.J. Denker now in at quarterback for Arizona, and he completes his first pass of the night to David Richards. So our big story here, the missed opportunities by Arizona early, and then an injury that we're tracking down to their star quarterback, their fifth-year senior, Matt Scott. He went off to the locker room, and now the junior, B.J. Denker, in at quarterback. A JUCO transfer, new to the program this year. Kadeem Carey, as he goes for about 1.5 yards.
And sets up a third down. And so Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator for Oregon, how he responds to the new quarterback is he comes and puts tight pressure on the outside. He's going to make the throws go into real small windows. Let's see if he doesn't bring pressure on this one.
3rd and 4 now.
Lined up tight across the board. Got man.
And Denker to the fingertips of Dan Buckner for a first down. They fight for the ball right at midfield.
Not quite sure if he had complete control of that ball all the way through, and that's why I believe the officials. Looks like the Ducks may have come away with that thing.
They're trying to unearth it.
Oh no, Arizona stayed in.
You know, that one official down at the bottom of the pile was signaling, but then they come up with the Arizona ball.
Must leave the game for one play. First down.
Tell you what, that's a great job by Denker, the quarterback. Look at this ball. This is nice tight coverage, small window. Not sure if he has great control all the way through, and then the ball comes out and he does recover.
Matt Scott back in at quarterback as he gets it complete. And it's Johnny Jackson with the extra push there. So still trying to clarify why Matt Scott ran off to the locker room, but back leading the way for the Arizona offense.
It's really hard to get this system in such a short period of time. My hat's off to Rich Rodriguez and his staff because they're pretty efficient with it, and he's the key.
2nd and short, and they pass in that situation, and they are able to come up with the first down as they were able to get it to Johnny Jackson, an undersized receiver but very fast.
Nice job by Terrence Mitchell out there, the corner, working off. One thing, and you're going to play in this offense and you're a receiver, you better block downfield because they run a lot of bubble screens.
Jenkins now. Oh, he got leveled after trying to get his balance there. And that was Kaylee Ikipi who came in with the tackle at the end. So no gain.
Nicely played by the slot defender. I didn't catch a number right there. I think it may have been Avery Patterson, 21. He forced that back up inside. It's really well played.
35 combined plays so far. Quick pace game. Here's Scott on 2nd and 10. He loses the ball as his arm was coming forward there, so they're ruling it incomplete.
Ooh, his arm did start coming forward, and so that's why they're going to. But geez. His elbow and throwing motion started coming forward. That's why they called it an incomplete pass.
You know how loud Autzen Stadium gets, especially in spots like this. 3rd and 10. They only bring 3, and Scott gets the first down to David Richards.
That is big time.
Flag comes down. Back in the offensive backfield.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense number 66. Contact with the helmet. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the play. First down.
It's Taylor Hart off the top right part of your screen. You're going to see him. Let's see, right up top, right up there. And then what they're going to call is because he got to the head. That's just the way they call it now.
down at the 12. Kadeem Carey in the backfield with Scott. And Scott darts out at the 9-yard line.
Out of bounds at the 9-yard line.
Second and 7. Get a first down inside the 2 there.
Keep in mind, this Arizona offense had 2 scoring opportunities early, came away with nothing. They've got to put points on the board here.
Pick up the pressure and incomplete on the slant, but the flag came in as Dan Buckner was covered by Ifo Ekpre-Olumu.
Ekpre-Olumu is a guy they've been going after. He had a pick earlier, but they keep coming after him. Buckner's a big kid.
Pass interference. Defense number 14. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
Remember earlier, 2 times in the red zone, they came up empty.
He's got that top hand underneath. Buckner's a big body against a smaller guy. They have 2 big receivers out there.
Never had a chance with Kiko Alonso coming in. Great play by the Ducks linebacker.
We talk about anticipation so many times when we talk about quarterbacks, but I want you to watch Alonso right here, as he does a great job of anticipating the snap count, jumps it right there. Boom! That's really well played.
Was a defensive MVP of the Rose Bowl. Here's Carey. And he is taken down just about at the 2-yard line, so it'll make for a 3rd and goal from there. That was DeForest Buckner with the tackle.
So both these defenses have been coming up inside. Alonso again jumped the inside. Let's see if they don't try to bounce this thing to the edge, or on 3rd down right here with the feet of Matt Scott, give him an option with those feet.
That's Laney Maiava, one of the offensive linemen for Arizona, who was slow to get up at the end of that play. Just a brief moment of pause in what has been controlled chaos for most of this first quarter between these like-minded teams.
Joe Buckner's a big man against a smaller corner on the outside. Let's see if they don't try to take advantage of that and get the ball up high.
He's to the near side.
Down the bottom of your screen, right down here.
3rd and goal. Scott. Oh, what a nice play that was by Ekpre-Olumu to dive in front. And he was looking for Buckner, Matt.
And it was really well played by Ekpre-Olumu. He didn't bite on it, man. He played it hard, and now they're going for it on 4th and goal. Oregon's matching up man-to-man across the board on the receivers.
Rich Rod knows you got to have 7s, but now you see him calling for the timeout. Is he going to get it? Matt Scott gets nowhere. The frustration on Rich Rodriguez's face says it all. He wanted a timeout. Instead, it's another failed venture into the red zone. 3rd time that's happened here tonight.
You had to. He tried to get the timeout because he saw something his quarterback didn't. And the quarterback just tried to use his feet. But Michael Clay, number 46, you're going to see him come in. Really nice patience and a good job also on the end by Tony Washington, 91. 3rd wasted opportunity.
And the Ducks give the ball to Kenyon Barner. Try to create some room as he gains 2 yards. Tackled by Dom Austin. They come upon the final minute of this fast-paced first quarter. Arizona 0 for 3 in the red zone. Keep it on the ground this time. A little sidestep move by Barner. As he was tackled by Dan Pettinato.
Kenyon Barner in any other offense, I mean, he's a big timer. This kid's a heck of a player. But in any other offense, he'd really be the featured guy. But DeAnthony Thomas takes a little bit of his thunder, but what a good player.
3rd and 2 now. And he's able to pick up the first down. So providing some space for the Ducks offense after they made that stand down at the 2-yard line.
We talk so much about this offensive line being a zone read team. They run inside and outside zones. And what that does is they try to get you to start running laterally, and then the eyes of the running backs take advantage of any kind of separation.
And Barner with a good run getting to the edge for a gain of about 9 yards. 46 plays between Arizona and Oregon in that first quarter. Ducks up a touchdown. The man behind the barbecue joins us when we return.
Norman, 24-19 the final. There will be some shuffling in the top 10, Joe.
And right here, Reese, we've got a turnover as DeAnthony Thomas fumbled the ball out near the 35-yard line, and Arizona was able to recover.
He got rocked at the end of that play, too.
Jared Tevis coming up and making that play defensively.
Early on the field, this fumble recovered by the defense. First down, Arizona.
That's a good
Jake
call.
Fisher jumping on that ball after Tevis came in. Glad you're with us here at Autzen Stadium. Joe Tessitore, Matt Millen, now joined by the man we saw at Pilotti's Barbecue, Mike Bellotti, all-time winningest coach at Oregon. Matt Scott with plenty of time. He's going to launch it to the end zone. And a flag comes in as the ball is incomplete. He's looking for Dan Buckner.
He was out of bounds, Joe.
Yep.
Anytime you see that official on the sideline drop his hat, which he did, he's out of bounds.
Coach, this game so far has lived up to exactly what we expected. Frantic, chaos, a lot of plays, high energy, teams rolling the dice, taking risks, and for Arizona coming up empty in those red zone trips.
Yeah, a lot of defense and some missed opportunities. I think some wasted opportunities for Arizona, unfortunately.
We hear the call there that the crowd was
pass interference.
Reacting to was a pass interference call on Ekpre Olamu. Let's take a look.
A lot of hand fighting going on right there. You see the hold, and anytime two guys get caught up, usually it goes against the defender.
Kadeem Carey nowhere to go that time as he was taken down.
Mike, I think surprisingly the inside three of both these defenses have been playing pretty well.
Well, you know, they read the press clippings too. Everybody reads about the offense, but the defense is typically going to show up and make a statement about what they want to do in the game.
2nd and 11. Scott. And that is overthrown, looking for Tyler Slavin. Mike, so much was made of the similarities between these two coaches' offensive schemes. What did you make of the comparisons this week?
I agree with it. I think they both are very much up-tempo. They're both very run-oriented, and they do very similar things, although they each have different wrinkles that they put into their plan to attack the other.
3rd and 11. Delayed blitz as he gets it to Carey, and Kadeem Carey trying to make a move to the inside. He was wrapped up short of the line to make by Michael Clay.
I like what Nick Aliotto, the defensive coordinator, he's sitting right there. What he's doing right now with his defense, he's showing one thing, Coach, and then he's moving late, so he's trying to confuse the quarterback's read.
And that's exactly how you screw up the zone reads and the protection stuff. As you know, you change the look prior to the snap of the ball.
John Bonanno now on to attempt the 31-yard field goal. Remember the issue with the hold earlier, and this ball looked like it was blocked at the line of scrimmage. And Oregon secures it at the 20-yard line.
Could you have a worse start for a football team? 4 great opportunities for scores and 4 failed attempts.
Red zone not treating the Cats well. They can't break through. Seven 0. Number 3 Oregon on top of Arizona. Joe Tessitore and Matt Millen so happy to get a visit from Mike Bellotti here at Autzen Stadium. Flag came in there.
False start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Coach, at the start of the game, we talked about this team. They had to be able to take advantage of turnovers, and they clearly haven't.
Absolutely. They've had 4 opportunities, got no points out of it. Eventually, you're going to lose faith and lose hope.
Winport on 3rd, but I'll tell you, they've been trying to get after that corner all night. He's been standing up to it.
Anthony Thomas, last time out, coughed it up. This time he gets it back past the original line of scrimmage to the 21. Also a blocked field goal moments ago. Like big Kaylee Keepy was able to do it. This time he gets it to the 25.
Lowe's helmet came off. You know, ironically,
the offense helmet came off. He must leave the play for 1 game.
Ironically, Joe, the numbers are worse this year than they were a year ago, and they're trying to emphasize having helmets on.
3.2 helmets coming off per game was the number through week 3. Actually up from last year. Last year the average was 2.1, and that is incomplete as Thomas couldn't come up with it. So the punt team will trot on out.
You sort of hold your breath every time DeAnthony Thomas is around the football, because if he gets it in the open field, you really got to watch out. And that's why it's a shame that Arizona has not been able to capitalize on some of these opportunities when they've been so close. The score is much different, I think, than people would have thought, though. 7-0, middle of the 2nd quarter.
There's a bad snap that Jackson Rice scoops up. Richard Morrison back on the return. And he's able to secure it at the 34-yard line. Arizona back on offense when we return to Eugene.
And college football finale brought to you by Fidelity Investments. Innovative ideas for serious investors.
Those aren't the only ones who go fishing at that spot right around the corner from Autzen Stadium. That is the favorite fishing spot of DeAnthony Thomas. Says he likes to relax, get away from football for a bit. Go fishing here in Eugene.
Brett does catch and release just like this offense. Quarterback catches it, gets rid of it.
Matt Scott and that Wildcats offense. Not quite the production they're used to so far this season. On the run, he's able to put it into the pocket, but unable to come up with the catch was Austin Hill.
I think he caught it. I think he might have landed out of bounds, unfortunately. That's one of those run pass options. Get the quarterback on the edge. Put a lot of stress on the edge defenders for that defense.
Kind of surprising. They only kept 5 in the box, and they still threw it outside.
Yeah, you would think against 5 in the box, they'd run that ball.
Exactly.
Pressure off the edge. They pick it up. That was Well off target and almost picked off by Terrence Mitchell.
The secondary is doing a great job of confusing Matt Scott right now. You notice a couple times his receivers have stopped. He's still throwing it down the field, so they're reading something that he is not. They're not on the same page.
Yeah, usually it's a conversion out there. They get to 12 at 12 yards. You're either going up depending on what the corner does. They've misread it 2 times so far.
3rd and 10 now. And this time out to midfield for a first down. That was Austin Hill.
And that was all Matt Scott right there because he threw it away from the defender on the back shoulder side.
I'll tell you, there's no fear. You throw a couple of incompletions, not on the same page. Let's come back and zip one over the middle and get that first down.
Like this, he's an impressive kid. And I said earlier, not a lot of people know about this kid. It's a good kid.
He's a great kid. And he's bided his time behind Nick Foles. He's been ready for this offense to occur for a couple years.
5th-year senior at 18 yards on that 3rd and 10. Off the hands and off the tip, but incomplete. He was looking for Johnny Jackson.
On the field is incomplete pass.
Coach, one of the things we said earlier was that this Arizona offense had to get after the secondary of Oregon, and they're doing it, but Oregon's stepping up.
They are. They're getting some tips, some balls up in the air. I'll tell you, I think Eflo, number 14, is doing a great job. He is manning up against the guys, against bigger receivers, which is not easy.
See if they bring some pressure here. And right in stride to Jackson. And then did that ball come loose at the end?
Like it. He's saying
he's down. So they will move the chains.
Running on the field, the runner was down.
And Arizona races up to that line of scrimmage, the 30-yard line.
That's out. That ball is out. It's out before he hits the ground. That's a nice job by Michael Clay. That's a fumble.
That's a great job. You're right, that secondary hit. And as you talked about,
first of the half.
It is the opportunity to attack that secondary with the play action.
Yes.
Get the linebackers out of there.
Chip Kelly may have this his way. Michael Clay forced it. Taylor Hart coming up with it. Ruling on the field was he was down, but they're taking a look. Jackson for Arizona was down, but it looks as if they would have the indisputable video evidence that they would need to see that Michael Clay came in and separated Jackson from the ball.
Well, he's going to try to go. Jackson's going to try to go vertical on Jackson. Watch Michael Clay. That ball is out. He's not down. Never gains control when it squirts out. And then it looks like Hart at the end is the guy who's on it. There he is.
I agree. Michael Clay, we talked about the way he makes plays down the field. He's not the biggest, not the strongest, not the fastest. He's got a tremendous knack to be around the ball all the time.
Well, we saw it on the 4th down in the goal line. Nice patience, stayed behind the ball, and then made the play when it presented himself.
Every time Arizona looks like they have something going. Field position, 4 trips to the red zone. Here they were on the move. Well, they go against them as well.
I give them credit right now. They've come back every time and still competed very, very well. But eventually that wears you down.
After further review, the ruling is the ball came out prior to the runner being down. Therefore, it is a fumble recovered by Oregon. First down.
So the call reversed.
Oregon is not charged for timeout, and they retain their ability to challenge.
Challenge. Chip Kelly works out. That Ducks offense sprints onto the field. Mariota. That is complete. It's a gain of about 3 yards to Will Murphy.
You know, to follow up on your point, Coach, the guy who impresses me with that about just coming back is Matt Scott. He doesn't blink twice, man. He just gets rid of it right away.
As Barner, can he get the edge? Flag comes in there as Barner scoots ahead for what appears to be a first down, but we'll wait on the call.
It's going to come back, Joe.
And Matt, you're right about Matt Scott. He is absolutely a great competitor. He's been a great quarterback there. They tried to save this year. I know Rich Rodriguez told me, boy, I wish I had him for about 2 more years for this offense.
Well, and that's a great point, because you know as well as anybody, probably better than anybody, how hard it is to. He's tried to learn this thing in a short amount of time, and so cramming a lot into a guy that short of time is hard to do.
It's fortunate he ran this style of offense in high school.
There are 2 fouls
so
on the
he had an
offense.
opportunity to get some experience in it.
That penalty is declined. Holding offense number 80. A 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Glad to have Mike Bellotti, knows Oregon as well as anybody, with us here in the second quarter. You talked about Arizona's composure. You know, coming into the game, obviously they knew it was an uphill battle, and then some things go against them.
Well, you know, you expected more offensive scoring. Both teams are used to scoring a lot of points, so this is okay, but it's close. But the reality is, at some point, Arizona's going to say, gosh, guys, we got to score. We got to take advantage of these opportunities. And even Oregon might be getting a little bit anxious because they haven't scored the kind of points they're used to either.
Mariota tackled by Jonathan McKnight.
And a 7. We're down 9.
3rd down and 9 now. You see the total plays. Yeah, the scoreboard only reads 7-zip, but it is that fast-paced attack of both teams. Mariota looking for options, and he is able to get it for a 1st down that time, finding Dwayne Stanford.
The one thing I've been so impressed with Marcus Mariota is that his poise and control when he gets outside the pocket. He throws as well on the run and finds receivers while he is running as well as anybody I've seen at the college level.
Does not blink. The game is not too big. He is. This is exactly what you're looking for in a young player.
Kenyon Barner now. As Barner was taken down by Jake Fisher for his ACL a year ago.
One of the toughest things to find for any player, really, but it really is accentuated at the quarterback spot, is poise. And if you have it, you got a real one, and he's a real one.
He looks as if the game slows down for him. He sees it in slow motion, which is want every quarterback to feel that way.
2nd and 6. Look quickly to Stanford, and he fights his way. Ball came loose right at the end as he was trying to get extra yardage, and then it went out.
There have been more turnovers and takeaways than both coaches certainly want.
The ruling on the field is the ball was forward fumbled and out of bounds. The ball will be returned to the spot of the fumble. 1st down.
Devin did a nice job. That's the 2nd time he's separated the ball from the carrier.
Freshman Stanford, an early target for Mariota tonight. There's Barner again. And not much running room to the 42-yard line.
The one thing, Matt, and you would talk about this too, I've been so impressed with the Arizona defense.
The number 50 offense. By rule, he must leave the game for 1 play.
All the lateral plays that Oregon is running, and they're maintaining their gap integrity as they go laterally. And that's hard. You find that seam, and these Oregon backs are taught to plant that foot and get up a seam if they see it.
One cut. And so we start talking about lateral separation, and all it takes is for one guy to not be as fast laterally as the other, and there's your gap.
There's your hole to go through.
2nd and 7. Mariota pumps, then goes downfield, and that was almost intercepted as Jonathan McKnight was running in stride with B.J. Kelly.
He knew where he wanted to go, Joe, but that one was not a very good decision because the defender never lost his leverage. He stayed on top of it the whole way.
He recognized where the end point of the route was and went to it before the receiver did.
Anthony Thomas in the backfield now with Mariota here on 3rd and 7. And Thomas, little shake and bake, watch out. And somehow, some way, he's able to get to the line to make before he's met by Jordan Grandin.
Remember when we said you have to be able to tackle in space? There's a perfect example. Easier said than done.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a slight rain falling on the field. That probably makes him even slipperier than he is.
And now Brian Bennett comes back into the game with this package with Colt Lyerla in the backfield that they showed earlier. Lyerla just pile driving his way to the 28-yard line. He's a battering ram.
He's such a changeup from the little guys, from Kenyon Barner, DeAnthony Thomas. He's a power guy, 245 pounds, and he runs well. And he actually knows how to run. He drops those pads and moves the pile.
Now here's Bennett with a blocker in front, Lyerla, and Bennett has what appears to be first down yardage. Remember, Brian Bennett, many expected him to land the starting job as he played well last year in a backup role, but Mariota outplayed him in fall camp.
I talked with the coaches. They said he's been great about being the backup, and they've given him a role, obviously, to feel like he can be involved. That's keeping him active, keeping him excited about the game.
They stick with this package and combination of personnel, and Lyerla once again just thundering his way down to the 16-yard line. He's 6'5", 250-pounder.
Now I want you to watch the feet in the hole right there. See that? That is not lumbering or thundering. That is athleticism at its finest.
That's moving a lot of weight fast.
2nd and 3 now. Kenyon Barner. Mariota back in the game, quickly swings it, but it's incomplete as he was hoping to get something with Barner there at the end of that play that he extended.
I just really like the way this kid plays. He has the feet, he has the escapability, but he has the presence.
Yeah. It's like a point guard in basketball. He knows when to get rid of the ball, when to pass it off. He takes a heck of a hit right there.
Yeah, that was hit to the chops there.
That was Bondurant who came up there and hit him in the helmet. Now spinning is Barner. Right at that line to make.
You know, I don't think enough is talked about with Chip Kelly and the way he calls the game. But there's one thing to have those guys like Lyerla comes in and Bennett comes in, and you know he's mixing and matching a lot. He is fearless in how he calls the game.
He is, and I don't know if you noticed when they were down here before, they ran 3 straight plays to the left to work on that left side of the Arizona defensive front.
Mariota. That is incomplete as he threw it just a bit low for Colt Lyerla. Jared Tevis broke it up.
Mike, you and I were talking about Lyerla, about being flying under the radar. Not a lot of people really knowing what kind of athleticism he has and what kind of weapon he can become.
He's one of the best football players on this team. He could play on offense or defense. Both sides of the ball coveted him when he came out of high school.
Barner on 2nd and 10. And he just gets inside the 10. He was tackled by Jake Fisher.
Back to Lyerla. He's a quality player because he can catch the ball both out of the backfield and down the seam. You can split him out, but he also is showing something new today. He can be a fullback or the power back that they don't have. It can be a short yardage guy like LeGarrette Blount was for them a couple years ago.
And the guy like that, he quickly becomes the offensive line's best friend. He allows him to come off the ball and get into people.
3rd and 7 now for Mariota. Barner out of the backfield, near side slot. Mariota looked to step in, now sprints to the near side, trying to get to the edge. Flag is down, he throws it, and that is incomplete as he was looking for Darrell Hawkins in the end zone.
One of the things you notice is Marcus is so fast. He's trapped in the pocket, he gets out, he buys time with his feet and his speed, but his eyes are still down the field.
That's
He's got
so
that
impressive.
presence of mind.
Yep, that's what's so impressive. The poise is there, along with everything else.
Holding penalty was declined. So Rob Beard off to a slow start this year, the place kicker for the Ducks. 0 for 2 so far this season. This will be a 27-yard attempt for Beard. And he puts it through with a spirited effort off the edge by Arizona to try to block it. That looked like it was Jonathan McKnight flying in there. Beard just gets it off to make it 10-0. Mike Bellotti, our guest here for the second quarter of action from Autzen Stadium, where the third-ranked Ducks are up 10-0. Daniel Jenkins now on the return. And Jenkins taken down at the 15. Let's check in with Reese.
Joe, it is a final in Tallahassee. Florida State roared away after being down 10 in the second half. The Seminoles ripped off 28 straight points. Chris Thompson scoring. Florida State wins it by a dozen, 49-37 over Clemson.
So a big win there, and Oregon is hoping to maintain their position among those title contenders here early in the season. Number 3 taking on number 22 in Arizona with the completion to Austin Hill. Matt Scott, the fifth-year senior for Rich Rodriguez's team. Many feel has been a perfect fit for Rich Rod and his spread run option attack.
This team has been in this position before. They have poise too. This is a group that there's no give up in this group.
Kadeem Carey, good effort there, and he picks up the first down for the Wildcats.
Two things I've noticed. One is that Rich Rod on the sideline is very, very poised, very positive. Bad things are happening. He's keeping the right attitude for his kids. The second thing is that the Arizona Wildcats are handling the noise. A lot of teams come in here and they self-destruct because they can't hear the snap count. They've obviously practiced it with noise in their practice situations and feel very comfortable.
Scott quickly swings it out. Austin Hill just gets back to the line of scrimmage. He was tackled by Michael Clay and Avery Patterson.
Michael Clay, like you mentioned, good football player, and the sign of that, you have to be athletic to be able to tackle in space as well as they're tackling right now.
And both of these teams feature that on the offense and then force the defense to do it, because you're right, they've got 4 guys out there in space tackling one of them.
Scott on 2nd and 10 with time, and it was incomplete, looking for Buckner. No flag coming in there with the coverage from Avery Patterson. Avery Patterson playing in place of John Boyette, who's out for the year after knee surgeries a week ago. Senior leader at safety will be missed by the Ducks.
But a good player. Patterson's not as big, good movement, great angles. That's what he does well.
So loud on 3rd and 10. And that goes incomplete as once again he was looking for Buckner. Eric Dargan covering Buckner there.
Dargan just sitting there in the hole, and so you're going to throw it inside. The safety's got to be able to separate that ball. He can't come down with a catch.
You're right, and he's challenging the wide receiver. That ball should have probably been caught. He had a chance to tuck it away. But a pretty good job by the safety breaking on that ball, putting a lick on the receiver.
A dangerous DeAnthony Thomas out to return for Oregon. And a timeout is called by the Ducks. Arizona will be punting for the first time when we return. Nothing Oregon with Kyle Duganzik to punt to this man, DeAnthony Thomas, most dynamic player in college football. See if he gets a chance here. Takes an Arizona bounce, and it is down at the 26. A reminder, you can get your NFL Sunday started off right. First Sunday NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. on ESPN, then at 11 on ESPN2. Fantasy Football Now, all the information you need. Get your lineup set, give you an edge.
I wouldn't have punted the ball to DeAnthony either. I'd put it out of bounds or something.
I'd be punting it to that sideline the whole time.
Thomas, he gets a crease, he can go, but that time it was filled by Shaquille Richardson, who came up with a hard hit there on Thomas.
Second down 5.
They've done a great job of keeping the lanes, though, and keeping them inside. They haven't given them a chance to really break it on the outside.
Safeties have been taking good angles, coming inside out.
Good pass to Dungy. The 3rd and 1 as he was tackled by Richardson. He's the son of Tony Dungy.
3rd and 1 gives you so many opportunities in this offense. Anybody can carry the ball.
And Thomas comes up short. Good tackle by Bondurant.
Nicely done by Bondurant. They got aggressive right at the line of scrimmage. And that's what you have to do. They attacked it. Really well done inside. Tui Halamaka, nice job inside out. Sets up this 4th.
4th and 2. From their own 34.
Not afraid to do it. That's what I love about Chip Kelly.
Thomas looking for room, and he finds it.
Mike, that was all DeAnthony Thomas right there.
There was not a hole. He danced. He's not the biggest guy. He doesn't run with great power, but he is so quick, so elusive, and he runs with his eyes also, so you can see that hole develop.
So that just that little space, he burst into it, and there's your first.
It's down at the 40. Mariota pulls it this time. And that time, he's able to find Daryl Hawkins.
I want you to watch DeAnthony Thomas in this. They come and he comes clean, and he's got to stand in there and protect the backside. Not pretty, but did his job.
Enough to let the quarterback get the ball off.
Exactly. All 170 pounds of it.
Went up against a 300-pounder that time. And this is Keenan Lowe, who tries to fight for that yardage against Jared Tevis.
Tevis is playing himself a pretty good game. A couple of nice separations from the ball and the ball carrier. He plays the middle of that field pretty well.
3rd and inches. And once again, just finding a little crease that time was DeAnthony Thomas.
This is what Chip does so well. He gets a rhythm going, running the football, and he'll start to wear out the other defense because they're going to continually give, then have the big play action pass off.
First down, Mariota pumps over the middle and incomplete, trying to find Hawkins.
Jordan Grandin, excellent coverage because he had all field there. On the backside, he had a route to hold the corner, and so there was nothing there. If that's a completion, that could be out the gate.
And that's a long time to have to cover, as you know. I mean, the quarterback can sit back and survey the field, pump it 2 or 3 times. You guys say, come on, guys, get after that pass rush.
Yeah, people forget that crossing routes take a long time to develop, and it gives you an ability to be able to use your speed.
There's some motion there.
False start. Offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
And you see what it does. It gives Arizona an opportunity to substitute defensively with that penalty call there. So they swap out their front, does Rich Rod. There's Barner now. And Barner, a swarming attack by Arizona as Jonathan McKnight came up to make the tackle. So there's the offensive comparison. Oregon 235 total yards. Of course, Arizona, all the missed opportunities. 4 red zone trips, had another possession inside the 30. Came up empty each and every time. 3rd and 13 now. Empty set for Mariota. And he gets it complete for a first down to big Colt Laierla.
Well, they zoned him, and Laierla does a nice job of finding the hole in the zone and sitting down. And because he's able to have protection, he can make this throw.
Look at how fast they snapped the ball here, and that time it was thrown to the outside of Keenan Lowe.
I'd like to have that one back, Coach.
You're right. He did. He let him just through it just a little bit too soon. Had no pressure. They got the play off before the Arizona defense was ready to defend it. Had a guy wide open, couldn't quite pull the trigger on it.
Coming up on the final minute here of this first half. Here's the screen now. Barner first down and more, shoved out at the 15-yard line that time by Jared Tevis. Ducks are moving down the field.
As the pace of the offense increases, the need to substitute on defense also increases, so you get fresh guys on the field that can match the speed Oregon puts out there.
We start talking about conditioning. This is where it shows up, but I got to be frank, they're pretty good right now.
Arizona.
That's what it forces you to do right there. Take the time, suck, get your guys from sucking air all the time.
Bear down.
Lou and Mark, plenty to talk about at halftime, including the Noles' big win in that ACC showdown. Mariota trying to extend this play, shovels it ahead, and that was dangerous as it was just batted down by Jared Tevis, but he could have made a play on it.
Jared Tevis is always around the football. I had a game earlier this year. He made tons of plays. That was, Marcus probably overthought that a little bit. He could have kept running, kept the ball, probably picked up 5 yards, but wanted to shovel it. Sometimes you think too much.
Yeah, he was channeling his inner Brett Favre right there.
Exactly.
And all of Green Bay said, I've seen that before.
Yeah. Ooh,
that time
play.
It didn't cost him. 2nd and 10. Here with the snap. And Barner has nowhere to go. And how about this Arizona defense after all the questions all week long? Could they hold up? Playing inspired ball here. Pursuing. And a timeout is called by Chip Kelly and the Ducks. Jeff Steele came over from West Virginia, reunited with Rich Rodriguez, the defensive coordinator.
Joe, one of the things he said they were going to put in was this 3-3-5, and one of the things you have to be able to do in any defense is you have to be able to tackle and tackle in space. And so I think tonight they've done a pretty decent job. Now you're not going to be 100%. But this group has done a nice job here in the first half.
They have, and they've gotten enough penetration and gang tackling, getting people to the ball, first and secondary guys that can make that tackle, slow them down, let the traffic get to you.
The numbers that they've put forth tonight, of course, nobody has been able to hang with Oregon in the first halves of games so far this year.
Arizona took another timeout. This is probably to get everybody on the same page defensively. Make sure we have the right call going in. And the other part we talked about was the conditioning. But you and I heard Coach talking about, hey, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Being uncomfortable. It's the way you practice. And one of the things, I've been around Oregon practice for a long time. They practice faster than anybody else. Rich Rodriguez is trying to get that. It takes about 2 years when you really go truly no huddle to get your coaches, your players, and all the equipment people ready to practice at that level.
That's a great point. Getting the ball down, get everything marked, get everybody on the same page.
Third and 20 now. Mariota. And off the hands that time of Darryl Hawkins. So 34 seconds remain. And 4th down comes up as the Oregon offense stalled out.
And this actually is pretty good for Arizona, holding them if they make this field goal. 13 points, 2-possession game. I'm not sure they thought they could be there, especially when they missed as many opportunities as they had.
Rob Beard's career long is from 42. This attempt from 41. And he's able to put it through. 13-0 for Oregon.
Coach Rich Rodriguez is going to go in at halftime and say, listen, you're beating yourselves. We have 4 opportunities that we blew. We're playing good enough defense. You can do this in the second half.
I heard a coach say one time, when you're digging a hole, best thing is stop digging. So, you know.
Reminder, the Sylvania 300 at New Hampshire. Coverage will begin Sunday at 1 Eastern on ESPN. Chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup up in New Hampshire. Points leader is Brad Keselowski. That is tomorrow on ESPN. The Anthony Thomas, so much hype coming into this game. Cover of Sports Illustrated. One of those guys that every time he touches the ball, you think it could be. But so far tonight, Arizona playing some solid defense. And Oregon only scoring 13 points, an offense that has been tearing it up so far this year in all the first halves of games they've played. This is Daniel Jenkins now, as he can only get to the 16-yard line.
One of the things that we talked about was for this Arizona defense is they had to be able to tackle in space. And DeAnthony Thomas, he's a big play waiting to happen all the time. And so you have to get a lot of people to the ball. They've done a nice job of doing that on DeAnthony Thomas tonight.
They really have. They've kept him corralled, not allowed him to get outside, but then they've squeezed and constricted the holes when he does turn up front.
Arizona going to keep it on the ground here, looking to close out this first half with sure what many feel is a manageable margin, considering all things and the question marks coming in about the Arizona defense being able to withstand the fast pace of Oregon. Couple of Rob Beard field goals in the second quarter. Coach Mike Bellotti, such a pleasure to have you with us.
Thanks, man.
What a nice visit it was.
Don't go anywhere.
Head down to the field to Shelley.
All right, Chip, penalties, turnovers again, yet you're up 13. What do you tell these guys at halftime?
Just going to stop shooting ourselves in the foot, relax, settle down. Good football team over there, good football team in our locker room. Come back out and play second half.
What are they doing to you defensively that's keeping your offense from being in track?
They're doing a good job. Our defense is doing a good job. Both defenses are doing a good job. Both of our offenses got to get on track. Hopefully it's our offense, not theirs. All
right, thanks, Chip.
Hyped up as high scoring. We have a 13-0 score. Couple of field goals by Beard. Touchdown pass by Mariota early. Let's join Reese Davis, Mark May, and Lou Holtz back in the studio for the college football halftime report. Gentlemen.
Hey, Joe.
Welcome back here to Autzen Stadium. Marcus Mariota had a touchdown pass, but the Oregon offense not able to do much. 13-0, number 3 on top of number 22 Arizona, alongside Mike Bellotti and Matt Millen. I'm Joe Tessitore. Rich Rod said earlier in the week, we're not experienced enough, we're not fast enough, we're not good enough on defense, but you know what? They're playing hard tonight.
They're playing hard, they're maintaining gap integrity, and they're having an answer to make sure they don't get outside or turn the big play guys loose.
You know, we said at the start of the game, the team that played the best defense would probably control this game. And they save for the 4 wasted opportunities. Arizona's doing a great job.
Officials having an issue resetting the game clock. It is showing all zeros.
Set the game clock.
Well, the very obvious differences in this game is the red zone scores. Oregon 3 for 3 and Arizona 0 for 4.
And of course, Jeff Castile's Wildcats defense.
Well, they do it a variety of different ways, but here I want you to look at this. Look at the leverage. Look at how physical they are at the point. And they're taking away all the cutback lanes and filling all the gaps. You saw 5, now it's 7.
Now it's 7, now it's 8, and they always have an answer coming off the edge to make sure that they keep the guys in the pocket.
And the big thing, like we said, Mike, at the start of the game, is you have to be able to tackle and be physical. And they've done a great job of that in the first half.
And when you constrict that running lane, it's easier to tackle in there, just like you know.
Perfect.
See the numbers from the first half. Now the total plays, that's exactly what we expected as they keep on average. But the turnovers and not capitalizing on opportunities, especially in the red zone for Arizona, a score of only 13-0. As Arizona is set to receive, Daniel Jenkins back deep to receive the Maldonado kick. And this will go for a touchback. Let's check in with Shelley Smith. Shelley?
Rich Rodriguez said the whole team is extremely frustrated because of the lack of execution and the missed opportunities. They all know that they're right there. If they just make something happen, they have to push through it. Nobody's hanging his head, though. As for Matt Scott, the quarterback, why he had to go in the locker room, Rodriguez said he got hit in the hip, and they just wanted to pad him up.
The clock still not reset, so the officials will keep the time on the field here as we start the second half with Kadeem Carey in the backfield with Matt Scott, the 5th-year senior for Arizona. And he completes his first pass of the second half as he finds Austin Hill.
I think it's really important this first series of the second half. Arizona scored, not just get field position, but score to change the karma from that first half.
Conversely, for the Oregon defense, they've got to get a stop.
Spoken like a true defensive guy. We got to get a stop.
We always said that this first series of the half, that's the most important series you're going to have.
Here's Carey, and a good hole on the right side of that line, out to the 40 to move the chains, tackled by Alonso.
You know, we said at the start of the game that this offense would go as Matt Scott went. Now, in the first half, he played okay, but not great. This start right there, that's why I believe, Mike, this series right here is big for him.
You're right. He needs some help, though. He was the leading passer and the leading rusher in the first half.
Right.
Scott to pass on first down, and that was thrown in back of David Richards, who was coming across the middle.
That's a wasted opportunity. A better throw. That was on the backside. He had to be a little more accurate on that one.
Taylor Hart came in with a little bit of pressure that time, so it'll be 2nd and 10. Fast-paced offense for both teams. They hurry up to the line of scrimmage time and time again.
Both safeties deep as you like to run at this box right now.
There's Carey. He gets to the corner. Flag does come down as Carey gets out to the 46-yard line. So we'll check for the penalty.
Holding. Offense number 72. 10-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's Trace Biskins, another 5th-year senior, up on that offensive line for Arizona.
2nd and 20 is definitely behind the chains for the offense.
Please set the clock to 13:47.
Knowing Nick Aliotti as I do, I would guess he's going to come with some type of a blitz and come after.
Yeah, and they know inside that's Trace Biskin. He's talking before. They're trying to get the communication. That's another thing that happens on the field when you're the opposing offense with a home crowd like this. Communication interior is a big deal.
Second and 20. Pick up the pressure, and wide open out past the 45-yard line is Dan Buckner.
And I know that Coach Aliotti's defense did not want to give up that big a play on 2nd and 20. You don't give it almost all of it back to make a manageable 3rd down opportunity now for the offense.
And they're going to tighten up the coverage. They were in zone last time. They're showing a little bit of a man right now. They have the middle of the field closed with the safety sitting in the middle of it.
3rd and 3. They need to get to midfield. And that is incomplete as he was looking for Buckner again, but Ekpre Olumu with good coverage.
Before, I'm going to tell you what, he is anticipating. He recognized the slant, felt it coming, and it came across, knocked that ball out. That is courageous because watch for the slant and go now at some point, though.
And they are going for it on 4th down. And here comes the pooch punt as they line up in the formation.
Oh, that's ugly. Chip's telling him which way to go over there.
Yeah, he's going back the other way. That did not work as it was designed. You want that pooch punt down around the 5-yard line instead out about the 35.
Autzen Stadium, 13-0. Number 3 on top. Oregon over Arizona. There's the coach's trophy presented by Dr. Pepper. Of course, BCS title game on ESPN on Monday, January 7th. So they tried to disguise that 4th down, and they go with Duganzik, who only had an 18-yard punt. Now Barner takes the carry here out to the 47-yard line for Oregon as they pick up the pace and quickly get it out for the screen here to Eric Dungy. And Dungy gets ahead to the 49, tossed out by Tremont Von Durant, but it is a 1st down for the Ducks.
Just said it was very important for the Oregon defense. The Arizona defense now cannot let this become a 3-possession ball game. So they got to stop them or hold them at least to a field goal.
Barner. And a flag comes in at the end of that play as Dom Austin made the tackle after just a gain of 1.
Holding. Offense number 55. A 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
Ronas Grasu, the starting center.
You know, we said that this offense couldn't give up any big plays. And they haven't. I mean, this defense, rather. They haven't given up any. The longest run has been like 10 or 12 yards. Longest pass is 18, under 20. And they've been tackling well. That's what's really kept them in this game tonight.
And the Ducks, unfortunately, have had 7 or 8 penalties now. And they've had more penalties than they really like. And it's helped Arizona stay in this game.
Backed up to a 1st and 20 now. And Barner breaking tackles. He's able to get back to the original line of scrimmage before he was finally taken down by Jackson.
You know, the guy who's been playing really well is Tui Halamaka on the inside. Not a real big guy, 265 pounds tops, but he is physical, plays with great leverage. Watch how he gets his hands into guys. He does a really nice job.
Right, he stays alive. He's not the biggest guy, so he's got a great push and great balance.
Threw it to the outside and low, looking for Eric Dungy that time.
He's pretty much controlled the inside. They really haven't had much success running on the inside. And when they've gone laterally, you can see getting the push. Let's see what happens with Mariota at the end. A little bit of push, not too bad.
Just letting him know he was there.
Exactly. He's got to be dirty. That uniform needs to be dirty.
3rd and 10. DeAnthony Thomas, by the way, is in the slot here. No empty here on 3rd and 10. Redshirt freshman quarterback from Hawaii. Sprinting to the near side. And off the fingertips of Eric Dungy.
Great throw. That is a great throw on the run. And that's on Dungy.
It is. You got to make that catch. That's in that void, that dead zone near the sideline. Ball just a tad high, but you got to. It's in his hands. We always say to the DB, do not let him catch it a second time. He touches it once, take the ball away.
Jackson Rice on to punt. Richard Morrison looking for the fair catch here at the 15, and that is where he secures it. Let's check in with Reese.
Joe, time for SportsCenter right now, brought to you by Dove Men Plus Care. The Reds are the champions of the National League Central. They beat the Dodgers today to finish it off. The Giants defeated the Padres to win the National League West, so we have a couple of teams all locked into the baseball's postseason. Florida State came roaring back from a 10-point second-half deficit and hammered Clemson 49-37. And Florida State now emerges as the team to beat in the ACC.
Right behind Oregon in the AP poll. Matt Scott, Arizona offense, looking for something here as Kadeem Carey gets it to the 24-yard line, a gain of 3, tackled by Coleman. Now the pitch to the near side, but nothing doing at all as Michael Clay just ate it up.
Michael Clay made the tackle, but the play was made by the corner. Great job of turning it back in, not allowing them to get to the edge.
The speed of the Oregon defense is on display, and that's what they do well. They can run with people laterally, no question.
3rd and 8. Cascade of noise on 3rd and 8. Scott, and he threw it low. Kadeem Carey was open, running down the near sideline, and he missed the target.
He wants that one back. Sometimes you got guys too wide open. You try to be too cute and just push the ball a little bit instead. Just throw it. Rich is saying, that's all right. We'll get another chance at that later on.
Yeah, but that's one they're not going to like, because they rushed 3, dropped 8, and the corner bit and went back inside and allowed him to swing up the sideline. The safety would have never gotten there.
Yeah, with 3 deep, 5 under, you don't want that to happen.
Exactly.
Duganzik back out to punt. Remember, only went for 18 yards on that disguised 4th down. This time he's able to boom it and drive DeAnthony Thomas back as it takes a bounce out near the 21-yard line. It is time for our Aflac trivia question. Autzen sold out tonight. 86 straight game of sellout. What school holds the FBS record for consecutive sellouts? Think about it, and we'll be back. Maybe the friends with our friend from Aflac. So beautiful scenery up here. We act the Aflac trivia question. Autzen, of course, another sellout. All the momentum this program has. 86 straight. Which school has the record for consecutive sellouts? Nebraska, 321. Had a win today. Rex Burkhead back. Speaking of Nebraska, there's Scott Frost, former Nebraska great. Back in '97, a starting quarterback on that unbeaten team. Jan Barner with the carry. 26. Jonathan McKnight with the tackle for Arizona.
I think, Mike, this team, better than any team that I've seen, they do a great job of one cut and up the field. They'll stretch as long as they can and then bang up the field.
And Arizona's doing a nice job of making them run all the way to the sideline, but they're forcing the corners to make the tackle.
2nd and 4, and that is complete for a first down as Will Murphy spun free and got it to the 35-yard line.
Actually, these corners on both sides of the ball here tonight have played pretty well. McKnight, a nice tackle right there. They made it no one earlier on the run.
Barner. Look at him find his way. Kenyon Barner, a gain of 8.5 yards.
I think corners have to be very courageous. They have to they're designed to cover people, but the reality is teams are going to force them to come up and tackle. You want to find out, can that guy and will that guy tackle?
Quick screen game now. As Stanford, he was tied up back at the 38-yard line. Tremont Bondurant, a loss of 4. Joe Tessitore, Matt Millen, and a nice visit with Mike Bellotti. Good to have you up in the booth.
Thanks, guys.
Here,
I
Mike,
appreciate
your
it.
old stomping grounds.
Yeah, I see the little mist coming down. It does remind me of my time here.
Pressure free up here, though. Well, high above us. 3rd and 5 now. Mariota. And that is complete to Stanford. Oh, now they're coming in and saying incomplete. As you saw the umpire, who was off balance a bit there.
Got a little help from a friend from Arizona right there.
He came in and waved it off.
He has control.
And you see the ball hit the turf.
Great job by the DB. Reached in and I think dislodged it. So he did have it initially.
Whoever thought we would see this much of Oregon's punter, Jackson Rice?
He's a great punter. I'll tell you what, he's going to be in the NFL. He just doesn't punt enough to get the stats for national rankings.
And Richard Morrison bobbled it for a moment. A little bit of rain out there tonight, just a miss, but slippery enough for moments like that.
Ooh, that could be a hamstring waiting to happen.
Hold on, big guy. Seahawks Monday Night Football, Packers Seahawks, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN. Of course, Century Rink Field will also be home to Thursday Night Football, Stanford, Washington, and then Oregon plays up there against Washington State a week from tonight. That is Dan Buckner, one of the favorite targets of the 5th-year senior quarterback, Matt Scott.
You know, as it gets wetter on the field, typically that is an advantage for bigger, stronger teams, not the little quicker teams, because the footing is going to get a little dicey out there.
There's Carey on 2nd and 3, and he drives his way for a first down, and a flag comes in late.
Personal foul, face mask, offense number 68. After this is the goal, play 2nd down.
Left tackle, Mickey Baucus.
Watch Big Mick Baucus, number 68, right on this side. Gets his hands up high. He must have caught him in the face. I didn't see it from that angle, but apparently
any hands of the mask
was locked up with Taylor Hart. So now it's a 2nd and 13. defense and upholding its reputation as pound for pound the loudest in college football. Scott out of the backfield is Carey, and he dismisses the first would-be tackler and gets the ball out to the 19-yard line.
Just a nice job of getting him to third and manageable, Mike.
Yeah, and that was, you've seen the growth already. Matt Scott tried to throw it inside and turned down that throw. That throw made 10 or 15 yards. He's got to do that more often.
3rd and 4. Will they get after Scott here?
Tight coverage, close the middle in the middle of the field.
And that was thrown to the outside of Richard Morrison as they brought some pressure. Deion Jordan and Derek Malone came after Matt Scott.
Caught him in man free and tried to ride the rub route, not a pick route, but a rub route.
So that's because you're on offense. Now from the defensive side, they're trying to pick him down here in the bottom. They got the pressure right up inside, and Coach Rodriguez knew he'd like to have that one back because that had a chance to work.
You shake a guy loose, you got to get him the ball.
Duganzik went for a 61-yard punt last time he booted it. Here's DeAnthony Thomas. Makes a move midfield. And DeAnthony Thomas has given Oregon prime position. 37-yard return.
Matt and I just voted, let's kick it out of bounds. We do not want to give him the ball in the middle of the field with a 20-yard head start.
This kid is so sudden.
You know, that's a great descriptive for him.
Yeah, he's sudden. Stop, start. He changes speed so fast. I mean, holy cow.
D. Heisman, a lot of people think he could be that X-factor kind of candidate in the Heisman race. Mariota lofts it downfield. Colt Lyerla. It'll be 1st and goal, Ducks.
You know, this kid Lyerla, he's my new favorite player. I love that kid.
You would love him because when he originally came here, he wanted to play defense too.
6'5", 250-pounder.
They're going to power him inside right now.
Here's Thomas, the little guy. Just gets a yard. 170-pounder down there in the goal line.
Bring the big fella back.
Yep.
And now Lyerla comes in along with Brian Bennett. This is the big package they've shown throughout the night. Bennett and Lyerla. Look at that. Was that a handoff? Who gets credit for the touchdown?
They both wanted it. You take it, I got it. That didn't work,
They each took it into the football, and they scored.
That's okay when it's greedy, but I love it. When
Talk about a team effort.
That's pretty good. How are they going to score that, Joe? Who do you give it to?
Mutual possession goes to the offense.
Lyerla's
two offensive guys.
Lyerla's getting credit for it. You ever seen that? And now they go with the snap for the screen and the two-point conversion. How about that? That was Rob Beard, the place kicker, on a throw from the punter, Jackson Rice. Now that's the Oregon these fans have been waiting to see. A little razzle-dazzle, and then this. Colt Lyerla. Brian Bennett velcroing himself to him. Back 21-0 Oregon, as Colt Lyerla played such a big role on that last drive. And returning it here is Daniel Jenkins, and Jenkins cannot make it even out to the 20-yard line. Let's go back and show you another look at this Bennett and Lyerla handoff.
This is joined at the hip. Neither one of them wanted to give up the ball. They're afraid to fumble. It was originally placed on the hip, so they both carried it in the end zone. Not a great play by the Arizona defense, because you should be able to tackle a guy running sideways and backwards.
Now, Lyerla gets credit for the touchdown, but you would think, yeah, when you're dragging a 200-pound man with you, you should be an easier target to find. Arizona, after all those opportunities, finds himself down by 21 after the successful two-point conversion. And a quick strike to the near side, complete to Tyler Slavin.
Complete to Tyler Slavin.
It's early in the game, but we're at that 3-possession situation, quarter and a half, and you've got to get something on the board. You've got to get some momentum going for your offense and for your entire team so your defense continues to play hard.
Second one.
Kadeem Carey. Nice little move back to the right side and gets it out to the 35-yard line. They'll move the chains.
That's what Kadeem does best. He's not a burner. He's not going to run away from it, but he can pick at the holes and go north and south and keep his pads out over his knees.
Scott looks one way, then sprints to the other and threw it too far to the outside for Buckner.
You know, we've said this a little earlier, and I'm going to repeat myself, but the corners here tonight for Oregon have played very, very well. And at the start of the game, we said that these receivers had to take advantage of that mismatch because they're a bigger group. But these corners here, they've stepped up.
I agree. They're playing great position too on the bigger receiver to be where the ball is.
And show pressure right in the middle. And now Clay backs off for a moment here on 2nd and 10. Now he's coming after Scott and he gets him. Michael Clay.
Good defense here, Mikey. You can see they went man-to-man. They're going to try to swing down that left side. He eyeballed it the whole time. And that allowed Clay to be able to come through.
Yeah, because Clay gets stymied initially, but then he just continues. It's one of those effort deals to finish the play.
It's all right to get blocked. Don't stay blocked.
Arizona needs to get to the 45-yard line. They set up the screen, and it bounces off the pads that time of Kadeem Carey.
One thing about both of these offenses, there's a lot of ball handling when the ball gets wet, as it's going to now, as it's been raining continually for probably 15 minutes or so. It's just harder to handle. You got to watch it in all the way, focus on that ball for both quarterbacks on the snap and then the throws to the receivers.
Black Mamba back out there. Almost broke the last one.
Kick it to the sideline.
Don't go anywhere near him, you say, right, guys? Duganzik on the punt. And he puts it right into the end of his own bench. It's safe over there. DeAnthony Thomas can't go there. Of course, Thomas out on the field offensively in that last drive that started with this spectacular return, just slicing his way through the special teams coverage of Arizona. And then Colt Lyerla, they put him in position and dragging Brian Bennett into the end zone. Rob Beard, the place kicker, coming up with the reception for the two-point conversion.
Joe, that was the first big play that this Arizona defense gave up, and it led to a score.
It was a bad exchange that time between Mariota and Thomas.
One of the things on some of the plays, it's the responsibility of the back to set the mesh. The quarterback's eyes are looking at a key in the line of scrimmage or the linebacker. So it's very important that the running back set that mesh.
Loss of 3. Garner stays in the backfield here now. And he's going to get some work here. And back to the original line of scrimmage that time. He was tackled by Taula.
Pressure, what do you think? 3rd and 10. You're up by 21 points. You're down, excuse me, Petro. You got to make something happen.
Yeah, 3rd and 10 at this point. I probably would rush my 3 and drop my 8. Just to be on the conservative side. Make them throw underneath and come make the tackle.
Mariota steps up, slings it, and that is intercepted by Jonathan McKnight. Flag is down as McKnight returns it to the 35-yard line.
Well, they brought 4 and dropped 7. This one's on the quarterback.
I agree. I think it was either an ill-advised throw or the ball slipped out of his hands. When some of these overthrows now, talking about the ball being just a little bit wet, you've got to be a little bit more pushing the ball down the field instead of throwing it, because the ball is loose in your hand.
There's no foul for holding on the play. First down, Arizona.
They picked it up. Good non-call.
Remember, Arizona spent the first half with the majority of their snaps coming on the plus side of the field.
So Mariota has a nice big hand too. He just missed that one, Mike.
Yeah. Now here they are, 3:49 to go in the third, and it's their first play in Oregon territory since that Jackson fumble. Scott going to take a shot downfield, and that is incomplete. He was looking for Slavin, but he was covered by Ekpe Ulumo.
Great play by Ulumo. Great play.
He played it. He saw. He felt the double move, and he recovered to find the ball, find the end point of the route, and then take it out of his hands. Great job.
How he did that fake, and he got on top of him. The ball hung just a bit, and that allowed him to recover. But nice job of getting to the top of the piece of that ball.
2nd and 10. They go to the screen to the near side. Kadeem Carey, a first down and a bit more as he charges inside the 20-yard line. Arizona with a bit of hope to get on the board here. Remember all those failed red zone trips in the first half. 4 times they were in prime position and came up empty.
They're down 3 scores. This has to be 6. This can't be 3.
Carey just a couple of yards that time as he was tackled by Eric Armstead and Ricky Himuli.
Oregon wholesale substitution, whether it's a pass rushing group on 2nd and long or just keeping the troops fresh.
Been a quiet night for Dion Jordan. It's time for him to come alive.
Great pass rusher, number 96.
Single coverage at the bottom of the screen.
And a bit of pressure. They run right into it. Ball came loose at the end of that play.
Yeah, Mike, you're right. They took a chance. They brought some pressure inside. They closed the middle.
Fumble recovered by the offense.
But both corners locked up man-to-man. Size versus size. It's bigger man versus a smaller man.
Left guard Chris Putton fell on the ball at the end of that play. It's 3rd and 7. Student section. They're down low there in the pit. Matt Scott needs something here. Flag will come in here.
The red zone has not been a good place for Arizona tonight.
You're exactly right.
False start. Offense number 76. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Now, the other side to that equation, Nick Aliotti's defense has been pretty good down here in this red zone, and he's dialed up a couple of pressures.
Right, they have bowed their back and kept Arizona out. They made some big plays when they needed to keep this thing scoreless.
Started the night 4 for 5 on 3rd down. Since then, 1 for 8. Now a 3rd and 12.
Dropping 8.
Incomplete. It hit Tyler Slavin, but he couldn't corral it. It'll be 4th down.
That one's on the receiver completely. That should have been 1st and goal right there. Another wasted opportunity.
Nice call, nice route construction, and great throw. Just got to hang on.
Nick Aliotti, the veteran defensive coordinator. His side pitching a shutout for now. Rich Rod needs to catch a break with his offense. 4th and 12. Intercepted by Kiko Alonso.
And a flag drops at the end of that thing. But not before Alonso has the big play. So what does Nick Alioto do when you're down there inside the red zone? He brings 3 and floods it with 8 defenders. Closes the middle, Mike. Tough place to throw.
He had that Mike Backer drop off and sort of play that second level spy guy underneath. Did a great job.
During the return, personal foul, face mask on the passing team, number 15. 15 First down, Oregon.
That was probably Matt Scott's biggest mistake of the night, because he's been pretty accurate with the ball, but he didn't see that robber sitting inside, and that was Alonso.
Yeah, it looked like Tampa 2, where the middle linebacker takes the deep third, deep middle, and it comes up. He did not see him, you're right, and difficult, very, very difficult.
Rich Rodriguez frustrated. Nick Aliotti cheering on his troops. Arizona now has failed to convert on any of the 3 Oregon turnovers. 5th trip to the red zone and 0 for 5. They've been there. They've knocked on the door. It's just been slammed shut by either error or, in this case, that defense stepping up. Second and 8. Mariota got him. Does he ever? Braylon Addison, touchdown. The true freshman.
The safeties have to be involved in run support. They've got to try to help defeat the outside screen play. And when they hesitate 1 step, those inside guys can go right by them.
Yeah, they had 2 receivers to the right as they're going left to right. They're on the bottom. And it was just a simple cross route. And the one corner on the outside, his steps were wrong, and it got him beat. Nobody in the middle of the field, like you said. Safeties are gone. 6 on the board.
Mariota made it look easy. Looked one way, came back the other, and found the speedy Braylon Addison. 55-yard touchdown for the Ducks.
Wake.
Oregon now 17 points off 3 Arizona turnovers. This is Daniel Jenkins. And Jenkins struggling on returns tonight. He lost the ball at the end of that. And Arizona does retain possession there.
Don't be on the bottom of that pile, let me tell you. A lot of stuff going on down there. This is what Marcus Mariota. Oh, here you go. Here's the end of that thing. Knee comes down. He still has control, and so there would be no fumble.
Let's go back to that touchdown by Braylon Addison.
Mike, this is what he saw. Mariota saw nothing in the middle of the field. He also saw 2 defenders on 2 out here. It's a crossing route. Inside gains leverage. It's over.
Right, they got him stacked, and they just turn it over. The DBs don't pick him up that way, and it's just a speed race down the field.
And Matt Scott quickly gets it to Austin Hill. Arizona came into this game 4th in the nation in total offense. Remember what they did against then 18th ranked Oklahoma State, put 59 points up against the Pokes. Here at the end of the 3rd, still looking to get on the scoreboard.
And coming into this game, they were converting 77% of their opportunities in the red zone. 0 for 5 tonight. That's going to drop precipitously.
Not only that, it's going to go fast.
Yeah, it's going to go down. Yeah.
Come to the end of this 3rd quarter. Coach Mike Bellotti, it's been a pleasure to have you up here in the booth with us with all your insight. And run for a first down by Kadeem Carey. Always great to visit with you. Stop by anytime.
Enjoyed it, my friend. Great to really enjoy it. Thank you.
His old team having a good night. 28-0, number 3 on top. Rich Rodriguez frustrated, 0 for 5 in the red zone this evening. sellouts at Autzen Stadium here at Oregon. Number 3 team in the country, up 28-0 to start the fourth quarter. Matt Scott almost intercepted again there. That was Dion Jordan getting his hands on the ball there. Joe Tessitore, Matt Millen, Shelley Smith with you here in Eugene. Had a nice visit with Mike Bellotti there in the third quarter. And, you know, we sat there with Coach and we were saying goodbye. He said, boy, what missed opportunities for Arizona tonight. Yes, Oregon defense is playing well, but
4 scoring opportunities that they will watch this tape and just be sick.
And then a 5th trip to the red zone not long ago that went for nothing. It's a big hit that time on Tyler Slavin, as it was Brian Jackson coming up from that strong safety position.
You know, Joe, we said at the start of the game that they had to try to get after the secondary of Oregon, and Oregon's secondary has played just outstanding, particularly on the corners, and in particular, Ekpre Alumo.
And keep in mind, most veteran player John Boyette is now out for the year after having knee surgery. 3rd and 7 for Scott. Pressure, gets rid of it, and that is picked off. Ekpre Alumo, right on cue. Pick 6, Ducks.
Player of the game right there, Joe. Ifo Ekpre Alumo, he just showed up in a big way here tonight, all night long. Second pick, this one, he takes it to the house, and it's all in his eyes. Great anticipation. He read the quarterback's eyes perfectly, and it was out the gate.
A 54-yard interception return. Number 3 looks like the title contender they are. Quarterback for Arizona that's had so much success early this season. Just picked off again, and this time the second of the night for Ifo Ekpre Alumo. Returned it 54 yards for a touchdown. Daniel Jenkins now on the return, cuts back, finds a crease, has it out to the 31-yard line. So everybody talking about, could this be the year for Oregon? You know what they're doing tonight. Washington State seemingly completely outclassed and overmatched. They get Sarkisian bringing the Huskies here, but you look down there at USC, home against Stanford.
Big win today, incidentally, for Oregon State.
They look Mike
UCLA.
Riley.
Yes, he's done a great job.
The road up there in Corvallis with a win at UCLA. Of course, beat Wisconsin earlier. So they're getting things turned around. And it's David Richards with the reception there for 3 yards.
Well, he's been throwing over at Ekpre Alumo, and now he said, enough of that. I'm going to go over to Mitchell, who they've tried to stay away from all night long.
That is Terrence Mitchell, the other cornerback. And here on the carry for a first down is Kadeem Carey. Coaches really like Carey's love for the game. They feel he's a good fit for this offense. And there's an injury now, as that is Trace Biskin. Veteran presence on that offensive line. He's already earned his undergraduate degree in poli-sci, playing as a 5th-year senior.
Good solid player. Played a good game inside here tonight at the right guard spot.
Remind you that Monday Night Football gets started with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. That's at 6:30 Eastern. Then 8:30, it is Packers against the Seahawks. Monday Night Football, 8:30 Eastern on ESPN. Going to be a busy week of football up at Century Link Field. You got Monday Night Football, then you got the Thursday night college game up there, Stanford and Washington. and then the Ducks. And you know these fans will be traveling north to celebrate this Ducks team time and time again. Matt Scott going to sling it complete this time to Richards, and he will be marked short of that first down line by 2 yards as a flag came in late that time.
You know, that Seattle Seahawk team, that front seven, that's a good defense. Got me, Bain, Red Bryant, Branch up there. They're a good physical front.
There's no foul for a late hit out of bounds. The defender tried to hold the player up.
Of course, Russell Wilson, the starting quarterback. Oregon knows him well. Gary tried to cut back against the green, and then there's a Nick Aliotti team meeting on top of him as the defense all found him.
Yeah, and the guy who called the meeting was Michael Clay, who himself,
he's a gamer,
has played an excellent game here tonight.
Spokesman of that defense. And there is Aliotti, one of the most likable guys in all of college football and an outstanding veteran defensive coordinator. Looking for the shutout here tonight. Kadeem Carey thinking otherwise, and look at him maintain his balance down to the 23-yard line.
Nice job by Carey, and the first big play that this Oregon Duck defense has given up tonight. You know, it's interesting. Nick Aliotti, the defensive coordinator, he said he really didn't know what he had through the first 3 games. So this would be a good test, but he had faith in some of his guys, particularly on the corners.
Jenkins gets the call, and Jenkins goes nowhere. Isaac Remington, who's from Arizona, grew up in Queens Creek, Arizona, was recruited by the Wildcats. He was hooked on Oregon since the time he came here for a football camp and was named the defensive line MVP.
There you go.
Look at the difference facing this Ducks defense.
Good toughness
far below
right there.
Their weekly production. 2nd and 11. And going up for it and coming down with the reception was David Richards on the slant. The 3rd and about 2. Michael Clay made the tackle. This crowd wants a shutout. They're staying loud, up by 35, but they're just as loud now as they were throughout most of this game.
This is 4 downs right here regardless.
And Carey is stacked up, so it will be 4th down.
Yeah, you got to go for this here.
Isaac Remington again on the tackle.
And Remington, he's, you know, don't let all that mane fool you, because that's a good tough kid inside. Got pretty good hips, and he stays nice and low.
And Carey looks like he came up short as they run in for the mark. It'll depend on the spot, but
this guy right here,
the initial surge.
He's the official spot. He's the one. He sees it from the sideline, and he's the one who puts it down.
And that mark appears to be short. Kayla Ekepe had that initial surge on the defensive front. Number 92 and 65 also got it.
Oh, that's a fantastic job. Kayla Ekepe just abused the center.
Bring the chains over. And this will be a turnover on downs. 6 times in the red zone. 6 times Arizona comes up empty. Just that kind of night for Matt Scott and the Cats.
College football finale brought to you by Nissan, premier partner of the Heisman Trophy.
They've been having fun all night here at Autzen. A lot of different looks. The team went with the liquid metal helmets, the dark green jerseys, and the black pants. Arizona went for the Ofer when they got into the red zone. 6 times in the red zone, and they don't have a point on the scoreboard. And now quickly getting it out to DeAnthony Thomas. 10:31 to go. And they're up 35-0. But this has been the normal course so far this year, as nobody has been able to match points with Oregon. The only change in the script tonight is that Arizona did have chances.
Well, I got to tell you, this Arizona defensive front, those 3 down guys, they played pretty darn well in there, Joe.
And once again, quickly getting it out to DeAnthony Thomas.
See that?
I mean, he is just so tricky in spots like that. Our FaceTime profile is brought to you by Edward Jones. He comes from L.A., where he started playing in a youth football league that was started by Snoop Dogg. A sensation since the time this kid was 7 years old, and now Chip Kelly lands him here at Oregon. He starred last year in the Rose Bowl with the long runs that got everyone's attention, and he has kept it up this year. Came into the night with 7 touchdowns on what was at the time just 24 touches of the ball. And this is Byron Marshall, who is another one of these young players will be the future of Oregon football, just a true freshman.
You know what you have to know about DeAnthony Thomas? As impressive as all those numbers are, he's an even better kid.
He is such a nice guy.
Great kid.
We had a wonderful visit with him yesterday. Talked about his nickname is the Black Mamba, you know, the African snake. But he actually has a pet snake in his apartment here in Eugene. Mariota on 2nd and 3.
Way too much time.
As he's going to just scoot ahead and get the first down. And the snake's name is Corleone, as in Don Corleone from The Godfather. We asked him what it's like, right? What did he say? He said, well, I got a goal. I want to feed him bigger rats.
Yeah. He said, I give him the little ones. And he said, and I just put him in. I said, what do you do? He says, I just like to watch him eat them.
Marshall unable to find any positive movement there as Jared Tevis gets the tackle.
One thing about Chip Kelly, he is not afraid to use everyone, and he gets them in early. Like Byron Marshall right there. He's got some experience already in all the games. Now Brian Bennett back in, and Colt Laerla as a fullback again.
This is the package that I have found the most intriguing tonight with Oregon. They always show you something new. How about this combination of that guy, the 250-pound tight end H-back, and Brian Bennett at quarterback. And here goes Laerla up and over to the 50-yard line. Shaquille Richardson, poor Shaquille Richardson, watching Laerla come at him.
Good-looking kid. I mean, this kid's got some speed, too. Now, Richardson wasn't afraid to stick his face into that 250-pound man, but watch Laerla with the speed that he's got. He'll burst. He sees a hole, he gets there.
Third and a long 1 yard here. As the ball just over midfield. And Bennett's going to throw it. And getting the first down is Addison. Remember, Brian Bennett. Many thought he would win the starting job. But he handled the news of Mariota getting the nod really well. Competitive guy. Last year, got playing time, had a start against Colorado, played a huge role against Arizona State when Darren Thomas went down with an injury. So he's able to get some work here in the fourth quarter. Laierla now. There's that stiff arm and a burst of speed, just like you said, Matt. He has power and he has acceleration. Jonathan McKnight took that stiff arm.
Laierla is one of those. This kid at the next level, he will help an offense at the next level in the NFL extremely well. He has run skills. He catches the ball well. He can block on the line of scrimmage. Heck, he can. This is like Hernandez up in New England. He handed him the ball in the backfield. This kid's legit. I told you, he's my new favorite player.
Everybody up here around the Oregon football offices give you that little smirk when you mention him, and now this is off target as Bennett just falls on that snap.
Bennett falls on the ball.
Now you talk about Colt Laierla up here, and it's like you've keyed in on one of the hidden secrets of the Oregon offense, right?
Well, it's not going to be a secret for long because this kid's just too talented. That nice stiff arm. He's got good speed, like we documented. He has a burst. He's just a good athlete. You know, there's a YouTube on him. You can YouTube him where he's standing and high jumps 62 inches right to the top.
You're enjoying your iPad, aren't you, Mr. Miller?
My daughter's bought it for me.
Oh, it's a nice gift.
Yeah, I don't know how to use it.
Putting it to use. And after they were backed up with the snap that went astray, Laierla carries it again. Dan Pettinato with the tackle that time.
See Chip Kelly, he told me get it. He wants him in. Chip Kelly, you know what I love about Chip with this offense and just this team? His attitude has permeated everything. You walk into the office up there, and I can feel Chip Kelly. I can feel his attitude, his enthusiasm, his love for the game. It's in all of his players.
Marcus Mariota comes back in on 3rd and 20. Mariota somehow ducks underneath the pressure and then swings it downfield for a first down to Braylon Addison. Just making the most of it is the cool, calm Hawaiian.
There's some things you just can't teach. You either have this or you don't. And Marcus Mariota, he's got it. You know, when a guy does it one time, you go, I got lucky. But when you start to see it over and over, you look at Jeff Castillo, their defensive coordinator. Jeff, there's nothing you can do about that. This is more than just a one-time thing that happens with Mariota. The kid's got it.
21 yards on that 3rd and 20. There's going to be some people who watch this second half of Oregon and what they've done here at Arizona and wonder, you know, LSU struggling against Auburn today. Is Oregon going to be the new #2 team in the country? As we look at what happened in the AP top 10, you know, that LSU Auburn game could have gone either way. Here Oregon is just dismantling the 22nd ranked team in the country. Ryan Bennett back in on 1st and goal. Let's see if Laierla gets a chance at another touchdown. Bennett, as Laierla seals the edge for him, and Bennett tack on some more.
Nice call by you, Joe, with Laierla. Laierla took the end man on that line of scrimmage and turned it into a double team, but they carried him the entire distance.
Watch him seal that wall. Watch sophomore tight end.
Got inside and just took him for a ride. Well, he and Fisher.
You tell me, Matt, Oregon or LSU, who's the second best team in the country?
I know which offense can go, and that's this one right here.
You hear it?
Our stadium isn't the biggest, our stands aren't the highest, our crowds aren't the largest. But measure us by decibel and gauge us by roar. Noise. Can you hear me now?
Going to be hearing this group all year long. The Oregon Ducks up 42-0 on the 22nd ranked team in the country, Arizona. 5 different players have scored the 5 touchdowns for Oregon, including Ife Ekpe-Olemu. Had a pick early in the game, playing tight defense, and then this man.
They tested him all night long, and he met the challenge every single time. He did it in the run game. He did it in the pass game. He had 2 picks, 1 for a pick 6. Fantastic player. If I was picking a player of the game, that would be him right there.
One of the big discussions I know you had all week long and when you were watching tape was, could you pass against this secondary? Was that one of the advantages Arizona would have? And here they go again. Can you believe this? I think we just got the answer confirmed as Brian Jackson says, no, another pick 6.
This one, he's just eyeballing the whole time. That's B.J. Denker, the backup quarterback. And I want you to watch. See, he eyeballs him the whole time. The quarterback Denker came up and looked at it the whole way, and then he just took it to the house.
That was actually Troy Hill.
Troy Hill read his keys perfectly. Big play.
Pick 6 by Troy Hill, the sophomore corner. One of the backups getting some time late here. 49-0. Troy Hill, 33-yard interception, return for a touchdown. Marcus Mariota in that offense. And taking a breather here for most of this 4th quarter. And Jenkins on the return for Arizona out to the 25-yard line. Story of the night has been the opportunities Arizona has had, but coming up with nothing.
Yeah, and it's been all red zone. 0 for 6 in the red zone. Not being able to get it. Had one blocked. He dropped it. Interceptions. It's just been a nightmare for this offense. On the other hand, Nick Alioto and his defense, it's been a big night for them. They've come up when they've had to turn the thing over on downs. You can see all the things right in front of you, but big night for the defense. Not good for the Arizona offense.
B.J. Denker, Richard Morrison getting down in the line of scrimmage there. A couple of pick 6s. Thursday night college football, Stanford, Washington, CenturyLink Field. Stanford had the big win against USC. They're idle this week. Back in action. Pac-12 play on Thursday night. There's B.J. Denker now trying to escape the pressure, and he threw it behind Morrison.
A couple things that showed up here. Now, this game is not a good indicator of how well this Arizona team played, particularly on defense in the first 3 quarters. It's gotten away from them here at the end, but had they had points at their back, could have been a different kind of game, Joe, especially early.
Could have gained some confidence. Some things broke their way. Denker looks one way, looks the other, now being chased, and puts it at the feet of Dan Buckner.
One thing, though, that showed up. One thing that showed up for this offense of Oregon that will really serve them well down the line is Colt Laerla. Because in the run game, he gives them some power, which they haven't had And in the passing game out of that tight end spot, they split him, they move him around. He becomes a mismatch and a nightmare to be able to match up with him. But he's that kid right there, Colt Iola. He's going to have a lot to do with the success of this team this season.
As if they need any more weapons. Now they've got the powerful Iola hitting his stride. Braylon Addison with a moment there, and then securing the ball at the 29-yard line. Such a busy day. College football. Sports Center will be coming your way. Of course, they'll have the full recap of what happened with Florida State and Clemson. That second half surge by the Noles. Notre Dame taking care of business against Michigan. The reaction to that. And Oklahoma. Now, this was an Oklahoma team, Matt, that we talked about a lot on College Football Live. Of a lot of people thinking perhaps they never really were what they were propped up to be in the preseason rankings that carried by Byron Marshall and Landry Jones and some of the pieces missing on the offensive line, and K-State got the best of them today.
And Landry Jones had to be the guy that was able to separate them in that game. And you know, he didn't have a lot of help from his offensive line, but having said that, you got to find a way. He didn't get that done.
LSU just got past Auburn 12-10. There will be many likely thinking that Oregon could be the new #2 team in the country. As Byron Marshall showing you why they're so high on him. A flag is down back at the line of scrimmage, but he is a fast freshman running back.
You could see him growing right in front of our eyes. We had him the first week, and you could see the difference between then and now, and just this confidence, and he knows, starting to understand the offense.
Fouls by the offense. Holding number 45. That penalty is declined. Holding number 78. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
Young talent. They just keep collecting it. In fact, they have a verbal commitment from Thomas Tyner, who last week in a Friday night high school football game up this way had 644 yards and 10 touchdowns. Aloha High School won 84-63 against Lake Ridge. Now, a level of competition doesn't look like much, but he is a verbal commitment to the Ducks. 644 yards and 10 touchdowns in a high school game.
That's a career.
Guys like Mariota, just a redshirt freshman, DeAnthony Thomas, a sophomore, Byron Marshall, who we've been seeing here on this drive, a true freshman. They're young, they're fast, they're talented. And there is DeAnthony Thomas, who's going to have a lot to come his way. Yelly Ford with the carry now.
They have so many guys. They have so many guys who could get you. DeAnthony Thomas, the one thing we've talked about him, but the one thing you have to know about him is when he's on the field, everybody on the defense, they know the potential he has for a big play at any time. And so everybody kind of sits on the edge of their seat like, uh-oh, is it this the time?
Jackson Rice on to punt. Remember, he threw that two-point conversion earlier tonight.
Nice punt.
Bounces out at about the 15. Everybody knows about DeAnthony Thomas, their Heisman candidate, but here's the X factor according to Mr. Miller.
Well, he is. He's got run skills. He can burst. Colt Iola is a guy, you can line him up in a lot of different positions. He can play. He can run inside. He blocks at the line of scrimmage. Watch the feet in the hole and then the burst. That's a 250-pound man. You line him up on the end line of scrimmage, and then you just run it down the sideline. Catches the ball well. This kid's he's already one of the top tight ends I've watched out there in college football. He's just getting better. He's just on the bottom, climbing his way to the top. E.J. Denker, the backup quarterback for Arizona, has been getting some time here
late in the game with the score well out of reach. Richard Morrison coming back and sliding for that reception. We're in the final minute here of what has turned into a steamrolling by Oregon. The pick sixes brought back, all those missed opportunities by Arizona in the first half and the third quarter, as that sliding effort came from David Richards that time. So now you look at Alabama sitting on top of college football. LSU struggled tonight. What do you do with Oregon at number 3 with a 49-0 scoreboard here against 22nd ranked Arizona?
You know, the questions they're still going to have about this team is, can they match up with an SEC physical defense down the middle and a physical offensive line? You start talking about Alabama, you're probably talking about the best offensive line in college football, and they're physical. And can this defensive front match up with them?
DJ Denker just sliding ahead. Sports Center is coming up next. The stories that you see on the rundown are coming your way. All the day's action in college football. They'll recap what happened with the Florida State Seminoles in that thriller as Chip Kelly takes care of Rich Rod and the Cats 49-0.